Hello all. I wanted to basically talk to most of the people that are the team leaders of PAWS across America and doing the adminning, etc. They're going to be addressing the press releases. This is an example of the press release that we have uploaded and put onto the main group, and I think that it's tabbed in the files index, but we can also send it to you via email if you like. It's a little bit more lengthy than we like to do press releases, but there's a lot of issues involved regarding the animals that we can't condense it too small because we need for them to understand the big picture, because this is an election year. Mainly what I want to let you know that now that the press release is out there, you can send it to anywhere you want. You can put it on the Facebook pages of news stations, of magazines, of pet stores, pet veterinarian, anything that you want that you think that would be interested in helping animals. And these press releases, and if you can't post on their page, you can go put it into a message. You can find the TV stations that you think would be interested, 60 Minutes, 48 Hours, anything you want. Good Morning America, the Ellen DeGeneres, you name it. You just go find their pages and you go to contact us, and it usually tells you how to submit viewer ideas. And on TV stations, it's usually like the news desk, news tips, etc. And you just follow the guidelines. And years ago you couldn't do this because you'd have to pay thousands of dollars to get books. But now they see the best reporters they have out there are people like you. You're wandering around with the cell phones. You see a tornado, you see things happening. And so now this is a different time with modern technology that they're allowing you to speak directly to the news desk and the editors at magazines and newspapers, etc. So this is really great for you. But basically what I want to do is give you kind of a quick little overview. A press release is basically just something that you would send to like alert somebody that you've got an event or something going on, something that you want them to cover. But basically it just consists of the who, the what, the where, and the when. And so, basically like on mine, you will see here that, you see that I have like press release. And I have the who, what, where, when. And then you have like the body. And you can use your own flexibility and creativity. Press release, there's in a specific format. But in your regarding line, you have to find what you want to say to grab them. For instance, like if it's time date, you want to say urgent, event, Friday, whatever, June 16th or something like that. And or whatever you think will make them open the email. You just use your own creativity. So like for me on this particular one that I did, I wrote press release, PAWS across America, all 50 states, mimics Hands Across America, because I knew that they would know what Hands Across America was back in the 80s, whenever it was a very unusual thing where everybody united as one and they all held hands to get public awareness for the disease all across the nation. I still get goosebumps when I think about it because I did it standing on the street on Hollywood Boulevard down in Southern Cal, and I just remember seeing the strangers holding hands. And that's what we're trying to mimic with the PAWS across America. But what I mainly want to let you know is you'll basically, if you're trying to promote your event that's going on in your community, in your city, you can use our sample press release and or do your own, the who, what, when, where, and just talk from your heart. They usually like the heartfelt type things, and you can state, I'm doing one at the city hall in my area because I'm tired of seeing dogs chained to trees, or I don't want to see puppy mills in Arkansas anymore. Whatever is your heartfelt reason for why you do it, because you rescued a dog and it changed your life. You're tired of seeing dead dogs littering the highways of Kentucky. Whatever it is that makes your heart go pitter-patter, you put that into your press release. Draw on their heartstrings. And remember, TVs are like very visual. They like things that are visual. So if you have any links to add, you can even add my videos off of my YouTube, Animal Welfare Media Lady, me talking about the PAWS across America. You can even give samples of some of the abuse in your communities, etc. And for print, like the newspapers and everything, usually just a snapshot. But even a lot of them are online. They'll usually take like little short videos also. So keep that in mind, that you can use my videos on my YouTube just by Googling Animal Welfare Media Lady YouTube, and you'll see all the videos are there. But mainly, so now once you do a press release, everybody goes, well, I sent a press release, but they never contacted me. I want to let you know that they probably never will. They get sometimes hundreds, and if they're larger, like New York and Chicago, they may get thousands of these things. You just don't know how many are piling in on them. So the main thing is you have to expect to, once you send it, you're going to have to do a follow-up phone call. And most importantly, as with TV, do not ever, ever, ever call while the news is on. So if you see it's 12 to 1, do not call them. If you see if you know the news is on 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, do not call them. They're too busy and more likely to be hanging up on you. And then, but when you send the press release, you contact the news desk and you let them know, first of all, you act like you know what you're doing. You just don't act like, you're somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. You call and you go, hi, I was calling. I sent a press release yesterday about PAWS Across America. It's part of a nationwide event that we'll be doing, and we're participating here in El Paso, Texas, and I just want to see if you received that. And chances are they're going to say no. And then you ask them, say, was there a direct email that I could send it directly to you so that I could ensure the receipt of it, and then we could discuss it. And a lot of times they'll give you a private email. If not, they'll just ask you to send it back to the news desk at, like at kcho.com or whatever, any station that it's usually their call letters, or fox26.com, whatever. But anyway, but usually when they ask you to resend it, that usually shows a little bit of interest. And so mind you, anytime you're talking to these people, you're selling them. And they like the local community angle, like the hometown hero type thing, what's going on in their community. So like if I was going to be selling that I'm doing it in my city, I'd go, this is very important to me because the viewers in our community, we deserve to know that we're safe. And when we're allowing animal cruelty to go unchecked in our communities, then I think that we're setting ourselves up for a recipe for disaster. And say, I don't like, you can talk about, I don't like the fact that we have BSL in our community. I don't think every pit bull should die because, there was a bad owner of one. Whatever your local issues are, drive those home. Go educate and find your apps like California Legislative App, Nebraska Legislative App, New York Legislative App. Go find those and pull up the animal welfare things. Find out what your laws are in your city on tethering, on chaining, on BSL, which is breed-specific legislation, which was like they ban pit bulls or whatever because some people fight them, to some disgusting people. But the main thing is that you're going to be having, and then you're going to be having to do the follow-up phone call, and you're very professional, and you don't act angry, and you want to be uplifting, and you want to let them know that this is an exciting opportunity, that you're participating with cities all across the entire nation. They're a part of PAWS Across America. We're creating a human link across the United States of America, and we're uniting as one, letting legislators out there, the potential candidates, know that we are the voters, and we're holding our votes hostage for animal welfare candidates only. That will be kind of the theme. One of the little hooks that I particularly will be using whenever I'm talking to the media or anyone, is the way I feel about it, is that you let them know that, they will see a sea of bodies taken to the streets across America in all 50 states, whereby we're all stating we're holding our votes hostage for animal welfare candidates, and we're prepared to jump party lines to do it. And say, I guess you could say in effect that we're taking the 2016 election to the dogs. So anyway, you use your own creativity, your own flair. You can let them know, oh, well, we have great T-shirts, we have signs, we have whatever it is. We're going to be in front of City Hall, we're going to be in front of the Board of Supervisors, we're going to be in front of our Capitol. Like in California, we have, on June 15th, we're doing ours on the south side of the, on the north side of the Capitol. And then New York, they've got 4 all around the states, and then El Paso has theirs. But anyway, I invite you to send your press releases now, the one that you can find in the website, because the event will be June 15th, but you kind of want to, you can even send it and say, we're just giving you heads up that we'll be holding this, and we want to draw more people in from the community to be able to participate, because there are a lot of people concerned about animal welfare in our communities. That said, after you resend the press release, again, you always find out who you spoke with, and you'll call back and go, hi, I resent the press release, did you get it? And they'll say yes, and then you always want to let them know who is available for interview, what their phone numbers are, the best time, and you want to make it clear that you have anything else you can go, well, we can all have our pets. There'll be great visuals. We're going to be in front of the Capitol. We'll all bring our animals. We're going to have some great signs. Let them know that we've got banners. We're going to be putting one over the freeway, and we've chosen to put it right next to where the City Hall and Board of Supervisors is, so that if they want to try and ignore us, they can't, because we're going to say honk for animal welfare candidates only. And if you can't find an overpass, then ask the people who own a building right next to the City Council and Board of Supervisors, etc., wherever your legislators are, that are in charge of your local laws, and make sure that you're aware of that too. You obviously know you have the Senate and House; those are on the federal level, and then you have your state representatives, and then you have your mayor, your governor, and then you have your mayors, and then you have your City Council, Board of Supervisors, city managers, etc. And some of those lower ones are the ones who have directly affect, like, you know, chaining and tethering and animal cruelty and BSL. They make those decisions in your community. So sometimes they're more powerful than even your state reps, and your federal reps usually can't get involved unless it gets tied into something federal. But anyway, so know your laws and know what's going on, and then whoever you feel is most comfortable, you know, have them get in front of the camera and be prepared to interview and everything. But if it's going to be you, don't be intimidated. The main thing is just speak from your heart, and you know, just act like the camera's not there and you're just talking to a human, because your passion and who you are. Tell how you stay up all night cross-posting. Tell how you you don't get to shower for 3 days, that your husband hardly knows who you are anymore because of the fact that you're doing animal control in America due to the failure of the animal control in your community. Tell them how it feels to use every penny you have on gas money to transport that animal out of that high-kill shelter, because you know that you're the only hope that they have to get out of there. Tell them how it feels when you see dead dogs littering the highways and nobody cares. Tell them how it feels to know that your next door neighbor's dog got shot and they told them to go get an attorney. Tell them how you feel whenever, like in my community, we saw a guy who threw a dog off a balcony, broke its bones, doused it in bleach, and then lit it on fire in front of a church. And the judge was restricted by only giving him 4 years. Tell them how you feel. And make sure, importantly too, in anything that you do, remind them that the time has come, that animal welfare in this country has to change, because it's been going on for 50 years since they amended the Animal Welfare Act of 1966 to remove the exemption for farm animals. And let them know that there's a very strong bills to address the USDA being busted for animal cruelty at the Nebraska Research Facility to profit the factory farms, which would be Senate Bill S-388 and H.R. 746. And the name of those bills are the Animal Welfare and Agricultural Research and Endeavor Act. Again, Senate Bill S-388 and House Bill H.R. 746. And obviously the Senate, S stands for it's in the Senate, and H stands for it's in the House. And you find your reps. You go to whitehouse.gov and enter your zip code and find out who your reps are. I'm putting out a SOS alert to get everybody to contact the reps on that. So please ask your TV stations to make sure they put that in any coverage, that there's a very important bill to address amending the Animal Welfare Act. But when you do make contact with your reps, and when you talk to the police stations, obviously you'll end up talking to them if you don't get any help with the TV stations. But when you're talking to the TV stations, let them know that even the police stations and law enforcement and the sentencings that are coming down are not mimicking the fact that the FBI just came out with a new classification that animal cruelty is a top-tier crime against society. And because they see the correlation that most of the people that are in their files have all started out abusing animals, and they believe that had they stopped animal cruelty years ago, then there would have never been a Jeffrey Dahmer. And that's a very serious statement. And that also shows that by us allowing this animal cruelty to go unchecked, and these legislators to allow these weak laws and lack of enforcement, no uniformity to comply with the new FBI classification, whether it be in the courtroom or in the law enforcement, not willing to take the reports to even be in compliance to report it to the FBI in little redneck towns around the country, etc. That we as citizens are taking this moment in America to stand up and be part of PAWS across America, advocacy protest event groups in all 50 states, where they will see a sea of bodies, and we will be taken to the streets united as one to make a clear statement that we are no longer going to allow this to continue. The animals can no longer take it. It is translated into a horrifying rise in crime and a very violent society, allowing all these animal cruelty people to be walking amongst us. We have monsters walking amongst us, and it's a very terrifying place to be. And always sell that, whether it be the TV, the newspaper, that you are doing this not only to protect your family, but to protect the viewers and their TV viewing audience, and the newspapers, to the people reading their papers. The people in your community deserve to be protected, and they deserve legislators that are not going to write weak laws and write ag-gag bills, King's Amendments, to make animal cruelty report people doing the videoing the criminals, like they tried to do with the ag-gag bills across the United States of America. Do your homework, educate, and you can always feel free to contact me, Cecilia MAIDA, the founder of PAWS Across America, my co-founder Jennifer Kennedy, which is K-A-N-A-D-Y. She's adminning all 50 groups in all 50 states and doing a wonderful job. And most importantly, right now, everybody needs to be getting all their friends, adding them to the main PAWS Across America group, checking out all the files that are pinned in there. I have videos on YouTube, Animal Welfare Media Lady, you can go check out. You can add them to your press releases to sit there and share them and get everybody to start joining all the other states. We've got some states that have very few people in them, and there are animals suffering in those states. And this is your opportunity. This is an election year. This is when they listen. And if you let this time go by, then opportunity is going to pass and the animals will suffer, and they can't do this. They're relying on you because they're tied to trees. They're in puppy mills that they're being trained to fight and they don't want to. They're being thrown out car windows, lit on fire. You know, you read, we see the torture. And we also as citizens, when you're talking to your TV stations and newspaper, remind them that America should not be doing the animal control due to the failures of the states and the cities and the counties. Lack of ability to take care of this with our taxpayer dollars that have been provided to do so. Because in essence, the taxpayers are paying twice whenever they go pull them from the shelter, because they're the only hope of getting them out, because their way of doing it is just to kill them every night. When they're paying to vet them, they're not vetted in the shelters. When they're paying to transport them and they're paying to foster them. The citizens of America are in essence paying twice, and when you drive that home about taxpayer dollars are being wasted during election time, then the TV stations like to hear it, and so do the newspapers. But you can also contact magazines. You can talk, you know, they have blogs now, they have webzines. You can reach out to anybody that you want, but anybody can do a press release and anybody can reach out because it's coming from your heart and you're there to help the animals, and they're the wanting to talk to you. It doesn't have to be just the media lady or anybody else, but we're happy to help, and we're going to give you sample press releases, so if you stumble along the way, but just know when you send that press release, don't wait for them to call. You call and say, you know, a couple of hours ago I sent a press release, did you get it? And you be very kind, and if they didn't, and remember, you just keep calling back politely, and they have the evening crews, they have the morning crews, they have the weekend crews, because you just never know, they're busy. And also, if you have things like if there's a bombing in Paris or something, you know, everything gets booted off, so they won't call you because there was big news events if there were tornadoes in the area. So you've just got to be patient and keep calling, and then resend the press release every day if you have to, and then just go, hi, did you get it? And if they go, yeah, we've been getting it every day, we'll say, then I'm contacting you because no one's talking to me. We're available, we're ready to interview, we want to get people to join PAWS Across America in our community. Can you give us some ticklers on the news? Come on, let's get this going. But anyway, that's just an idea about how to do a press release. And if you have any questions, I'm always available. But that's your little ABCs of how to do a quick press release. But I know you just speak from your heart and you'll do fine. And God bless you for trying to help the animals, because if you're watching this video, then I know that you're not a whiner, you're a doer. And the animals are counting on people like you to speak up for them. And I'm sorry I'm getting a little bit emotional myself, but God bless the rescuers. And remember, PAWS Across America, all 50 states. June 15th, we're taking to the streets. We want them to see a sea of bodies. I said, so join, add people to all the groups, get your friends motivated, get your family, get your church members, get everybody involved. On June 15th, we want the world to see America is standing up to animal cruelty, and we will only be able to do that whenever you join. God bless.